This is South Carolina Public Radio. You're watching Left Past 10. I'm Matt Strackbine, here to remind you no talking during the intro. You won't hear any of the other co-hosts talking because I haven't given them access to do so. I can see that Andrea is very frustrated by this, giving a thumbs down. Sandy is saying I wasn't going to talk anyway, and Jake, I don't know what Jake's doing. I do know that Andrea was giving me the thumbs down, and then the obscene finger gestures.
Jake hasn't caught up to the core concept.
Not cool, Andrea.
You've already fucked it all up.
Oh, great. Now we can't monetize the video. Did you swear within the first 7 minutes? Yes. Yes.
Hi. I love that last part of the intro.
That was my idea. That last part was my idea.
Well, okay,
well, I was like, Andrea, it's great. It could be a little better. Right at the end, do it. And she was like, why didn't I think of that?
I could literally do it. And you could use mine into the fold.
That would be
Andrea,
good.
Can you incorporate that, please?
Yeah.
By next week?
Add that in there.
I'm in the middle of making a video, incendiary video, but I don't know.
Dairy video?
No, incendiary, like to piss people off.
Oh.
You know, I'll just give you a little hint. His name is Steve Bannon. He's going to have a cameo in it, so we'll see how it comes out.
It's amazing watching that guy get continually more horrified by the beast he created. He's like, I'm just a regular Nazi, guys. I'm just a regular white supremacist. I don't know what all this crazy stuff is.
I watched.
Hi, everybody.
I watched the movie The Apprentice, that new Trump movie.
Oh, I want to see it.
And it's all about his relationship with Roy Cohn. And Roy Cohn is like the worst of the worst. But even at some point, Cohn is like, hey, Donald, are you sure you want to do this? Like, he realizes this guy isn't even gonna fake dignity. He isn't even gonna fake having like a public face. You know what I mean? And he's doing all this stuff, and Roy Cohn's like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, we worked to get you off the hook, and now you really want to do that? And he's like, this guy doesn't even know how to be a bad guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Trump has this. It's amazing to me in two parts. Trump has this ability to like somehow be allowed to participate in the big boy scams with everybody else, but he's too dumb to do it subtly. Like every time he participates in it, it becomes obvious for regular folks like me what the scam is. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So, you know, these tariffs, a country is going to offer to buy out all the hotel floors he has for a week, and suddenly their tariffs will be lifted. But like, he's just too blunt about it. And what shocks me is the second part of that is somehow America doesn't see. Like we're so stupid that still there's people who are like, it seems like it's maybe a smart move. What's that with the stock market?
It's time.
What's the stock market like?
It's time to start. It's time to start telling people, I'm sorry. I just realized, sir, you're not qualified to even talk about this casually. So I'm going to step away from this conversation now because you don't know what you're talking about.
In one day, the total S&P has become like Bitcoin 10% on the day.
There was a part in the movie where Roy Cohn says, and by the way, I've seen a lot of movies that were based on
like ice cream cone.
Yeah, exactly, with an H. But I've seen lots of movies that were based on, you know, politicians or real life people where you're like, yeah, you can tell some of this probably was massaged into the story. It didn't happen in this right timeline. This shit all happened. Like everything here is nonfiction. So it's just a reenactment. So there's a moment where Roy Cohn says, these are the 3 rules of Roy Cohn. And my wife and I were like, fuck. This is what we're going through right now. This is what we're living through. It's this guy. Always attack. Never defend yourself. Just attack the other guy when they're coming at you. Never admit
Deny.
defeat. Only admit victory.
Right.
Only admit
But
victory.
it's always deny and
deny
lie
everything. Yeah.
and then turn it around and blame it on othering, on somebody else. It's a psychological
Well, so
mind.
there was a moment where, because he initially gets Roy Cohn to help him and his dad out of the slumlord case, and he's in the car after the initial hearing, and he goes, "So do you think we have a case?" And he goes, "No, your case sucks. You put a letter C on the lease of every black person that you rent to. You're
I shouldn't laugh.
busted."
Yeah,
It's just the
it was
most obvious.
disgusting.
And Trump is like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do? I thought we were gonna be." He's like, "You will be okay. I've got dirt on the attorney general. We're gonna go catch him at lunch right now." And Trump is even like, "What did we just do? Is that legal?" And he goes, "No. What do you think this is?" And so he's just like teaching him exactly how to do it the wrong way. And he eventually turns on Roy Cohn when
Well, yeah,
Roy
because he
Cohn,
got HIV.
and
He didn't
he's like,
agree with that.
and he thinks it's disgusting and everything, but like there are moments where Cohn is like, "Oh my god," like literally created a monster.
Yeah,
But like
That
he was
the
the monster anyway.
the
the
thing with
monster.
Donald
He
and Fred
reminds me
Trump
of
when they were slumlords,
Sasquatch.
it was just one shade shy of being like, you put Al Jolson's. Oh, I just realized this joke is way too old. You put Al Jolson's headshot on the application of every black. Like, it's just
Yeah.
so blatant.
They were
But
terrible.
again, isn't that just like it used like a smarter scumbag, a smarter racist landlord back in the day would have like bent the corner
Was
of every
that in the
case or
60s?
something like that.
That was like
No,
Or
it
they
in
would
was
have
the
picked.
the
70s?
70s, late 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But his father had to be doing that prior to Donald taking,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
they were
But
virulent.
they're a family of mouth breathers,
Virulent.
but
Mouth
quite literally.
breathers.
Hey, let's not hate on the people that breathe through their mouths. Sometimes
That's
people
fair.
get congestion.
It was pretty
You
bad
know.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One in
But
7
the point
Americans
being,
are congested right now.
it's
Hi,
already an
Andrea.
example of him being so obvious that suddenly we can understand what the scam was, like,
Yeah.
they're specifically, it's not just like well, if you interpret their actions this way or that. No, they're specifically putting a letter, not unlike a Star of David, on every application so that they can
Yes, of
tell,
course.
so that they can deny it. It's just insane.
Because they were
There was a
horrible.
moment where his father had he didn't have all his faculties. He was experiencing dementia, and
Yeah,
Donald Trump tried to get him to sign over all of his siblings' trust to him
Oh.
because he was so in debt. He was just he was screwing all the contractors over. He wasn't paying anybody, and he owed big, and he kept getting more like deals because Cohn would just go behind the scenes and blackmail everyone involved, and they were like, "Oh shit, we got to do it." And so then it gets, it's to the point where he's being really like over the he's like trying to treat himself like everything, the gold toilets and everything, right? And
Yeah.
even Roy Cohn is like, "Geez, do you really want to go this big? This is extravagant. Like, don't forget, you don't have money. The fix was in to get you to a point where you could make money, and you're blowing it." And then they this is the one thing they could have done more. They just show like he's on the phone giving like a radio interview, and then there's a Barbara Walters interview, and they're all like, "You're so successful, so what's next?" And that's how you can see that the media was just like, "Ooh, new American dynasty, new Rockefeller, new tycoon. We're gonna prop him up to be the picture of American dream," right? And that is really, you take that all the way to the show The Apprentice, which is why they called this, because he was Roy Cohn's apprentice, right? And so then he ends up with the reality show called The Apprentice with the fake beginning, getting out of the helicopter and all that. And they really did paint a picture that made him look like this mega successful guy when he's really just a scumbag idiot. He was an idiot.
a womanizing piece of shit. He used to go on Howard
Yeah,
Stern's
they did that
show,
too. Yeah.
and I loved Howard, but you put Howard in his place. I remember Howard did run for governor of New York, but yet
He almost won.
Donald oh, Donald just, I don't know. He reminds me, when you see Donald walking, or the orange turtle, I call it.
Oh,
You see him walking. Doesn't he look like a lumbering Sasquatch?
They did such a good job. It was
Sasquatch is
Sebastian
perfect.
Stan.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan played him. He nailed it.
I'll
Just
watch it.
nailed
I'll
it. It
watch
was
it.
amazing.
I'll watch it. I'm trying to do things now, like gardening videos, and getting my mind off of all of this political stress every day, you know.
This is
And
the
I'm
nicest compliment I've had all day.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
I'm
And
I'm
also
actually thinking
I'm,
Greg is talking about the other 3 people on screen.
He said,
Yeah,
"Oh,
no, I
there's
assumed he was talking
4
about
of
Andrew,
us."
Teddy, and I, but
Do we all assume he's just talking about Sandy?
No,
yeah, I don't
he's
think
not
anybody
even on
doubted
my
that it was
He said
Sandy.
all. He said you all, but
y'all.
y'all can be
Victor's
one person.
being nice.
I am doing, but I will tell you what this week's study is, because every week it's different kinds of study for different kind of guests. Yeah,
Ooh.
come on, Dave, go over and do it on my channel.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Arctic update. We're going to do an Arctic update and a Greenland ice sheet update, because Jennifer, we're doing our birthday show, and we always do an Arctic update. There's a lot happening, and she lives in Boulder, and that's where the National Snow and Ice Data Center is, and they are losing funding. And I talked to somebody today that was telling me it's front page news. Now you think, okay, with the National Snow and Ice data, there's a lot of research. If that asshole wants to buy Greenland, I think he should keep the National Snow and Ice Data Center so that they can tell him what his investment is doing. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
NCAR is there as well. The
Yeah.
atmospheric, and it's,
Yes.
to me, those are, oh God, that's not waste. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
There's no waste
those
in that
things are
research.
not wasteful.
No, there's no waste.
I've been to NCAR. There weren't hundreds of
Cool.
people walking around like
No.
getting paid. There was like, it felt like maybe there was a few people. It felt like a library.
Right.
You know, where you have
That's
some librarians,
what
but it's
these
really not
research-
like that busy.
Right. That's what they are.
The
That's what
building
they
was
are.
designed, it's right up against the foothills of the Flatirons,
Oh,
and
it
they
must
had a
be so
guy,
nice.
I think he was from South America, but they had him design the building to like be in harmony with the mountains, not
Yeah,
to
that's
stand
nice.
out. And that was always really cool. They
Shit.
have like a glass box with a what do you call those? It's like a tornado
look
inside
to-
of it that never stops.
Oh,
It's like
that's very cool.
cyclone, a mini cyclone.
Yeah.
That, like, what do you call
That's
it? An
nice.
eternal cyclone. That's what it is.
That's
That's
interesting.
nice.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
have never heard of that, and that's a
I-
surprise because it sounds like something a wizard would have.
When I was in
Yeah, we had to go
Boulder,
into the mountains.
I didn't get to go to the school. I didn't
When
have
were you
enough
there?
time. In 2017, I took a 3-day workshop with Carolyn Baker, who's been on my channel, Dr. Carolyn Baker, and that's where I met Jennifer. Actually, we were doing spiritual work to, in our whole genre.
Did you go to the Pearl Street Mall?
Nope.
Really?
We went
What-
hiking up in the mountains. We went
So,
up. What's the big hill, the big hiking area in?
did you do
Boulder?
like Mount Sanitas or
I don't remember.
Bear Mountain?
Whatever mountain it was fun, and there was a nice restaurant. And we walked around the quaint little town
Flagstaff. Oh,
I
you
don't-
went to Netherlands
in
probably.
Boulder, maybe. But I was at a
You went
certain,
up to
we
Canyon
were,
for a while.
yeah, and we hiked all the way up there. But we were in a seminar. It was a thing. It was a spiritual retreat. So there wasn't a lot of time to do a lot of sightseeing. But Jennifer's house was really nice, and I'm excited about her coming back Friday night. Yeah.
Oh,
for our
that's cool.
It's our birthday show. Her birthday's today, and mine's the 15th. So
Oh,
not that
mazel
either
tov.
one. Yeah, but we're not ushering in this. I mean, we are looking at ourselves going, we are this age, right? and we have
Wait,
to have.
whoa! Did you just
What was
catch yourself
that?
from swearing? Like,
What was
well,
that?
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to turn over a new fucking leaf. No, okay.
oh, that's
So,
good. No more
so
fucking swearing for
yeah,
me. Fucking A. I'm
right.
not. If you hear me say like fuck, damn, or
Uh,
damn it, fuck, or anything, just call me out. I don't.
you know,
Why are you? What is this? What
I
new
don't
leaf?
know. I don't know what new leaf.
It's okay. You can do that if you want. You
That was
can
the
not
old leaf.
swear.
No, I'm I don't know. It depends on what mood I'm in. It's like all of us.
I know what you
really.
mean. Swearing is like an outfit for your language.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right mood.
What
It's
fits today?
a
The
little
fuck
saucy.
word, the shit word, I mean, I like to do a lot of graphics with people's heads getting shit on. Like in my last one, I put Netanyahu had the peace bird, and he's coming off the plane
Thank
with
you for the
shit
clarification. Yeah,
falling
that
out of his
guy.
head. Yeah. Well, that's why the gates went up, because he was visiting, and every time he visits, the gates go up. People thought it was because of the protest. No, it's because of him. But anyway, we don't have to go there. It's just because it's very big and very upsetting.
I will no. Okay, so I know people who will swear in public, and I'm always like, dude, chill. I mean, there's
I
Yeah.
swear in public all the. Well, I don't go in public.
Right,
okay. I
just
was gonna say,
Andrea,
what
forget it,
Yeah.
Andrea.
fine, your backyard isn't public, but like, you know what I mean? It's like we're sitting at a bar, and he's like looking at the TV, and somebody misses a goal in a soccer game. He's like, "Fuck, bro," and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's not unlike nouveau riche behavior, but for
What's that?
young
What's that?
adults.
What's
Like
new?
the newly rich will buy things
Oh.
to simply to show that they have money, like a gold
Oh
toilet,
yeah,
as opposed to
sure.
something of quality.
Tacky
Swearing
thing.
just all willy nilly is just to show people that those swears. It's not. It loses. It actually does the opposite of what it's intended to do.
Mm.
I feel.
Unless you're creative, you have to like use
Right.
some creative
Right.
swearing in public.
Yeah.
You have to teach people stuff.
Right.
there's
When I was
nothing. I
a
don't.
bartender, I had no compunction to tell people to shut the fuck up. No problem.
Oh, sure.
Sure. That was a tough job. I
feel like the bartender
tough job.
sets the tone of the whole restaurant. If anybody has the ability to say this is a swear-in joint or not,
Right.
it's
This
the
was not
bartender.
a restaurant, actually, but yeah. Sure.
It served alcohol, though.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the
Yeah.
central point.
And
Even if you're at a wedding, that's still the
kitchen.
central point for most
had a-
guests.
We had a kitchen. Yeah. These were Canadian people that came down and opened a strip club in on the border of New Jersey and New York, and it was pretty bustling. And Ma would sit in the back table and collect the money, and we were the bartenders. And then
At
we'd
the
have
strip joint?
yeah, we'd wrangle around the dancers. We had to be dancer police. Yeah, I
Male
did very.
strippers, female
No,
strippers.
no. It was exotic dance club.
Until
We
you
wore
And you
said
were
New
the
Jersey.
bartender? This is new information, Sandy. You can't just casually mention.
Oh,
You were the bartender wrangling dancers?
yeah, making sure that they followed the rules and did everything they had to do.
What were the
And
rules?
Yeah, what did they have to do, Sandy?
then,
Tell me.
Yeah.
you couldn't show any hair in a
Oh.
certain area. So when you wore
So-
you wore the G-string, you could not show hair. Guys couldn't touch them. But it wasn't it was a medium place. But listen, it put me through college.
Okay, good.
I
But
made a
what
lot
was
of
the
money.
job description? Did it say
The job
dancer
description-
wrangling or
Yeah,
You already own a swim cap.
we wore black shorts, white tops, and white cowboy boots. But
That actually sounds cool.
yeah, we had cute outfits. But that was
Yeah.
my girlfriend Karen, who is still my really good friend. She's out in California. They have a big bread and breakfast in San Andreas.
what was
But
the
it was
name of the strip club?
Friendly's Inn. And it was
INN?
Friendly's.
It's the most wholesome sounding strip joint, except for the New Jersey part.
Well, it was
I
a
mean,
wholesome family. They just they just
Friendly's
knew how to make
in?
money. Friendly's in, INN.
So it's a family. Like I'm imagining, like
Friendly's
like 3,
in.
4 little kids running around.
No, the
There's
only
like
little
Legos
kid.
everywhere. You step on them all
No.
the time.
No, actually, the only little kid would be mine every now and then when I brought her to the kitchen. We all had kids, all the bartenders. We were all moms, and I was going through school, and Darlene was going through school, and Karen was putting her kid. I mean, we were there because the money was good. I worked 3
Oh,
nights and brought home $1,000. That's a lot,
damn.
yes.
Number of
And there were
employees?
6 hours. How many? Well, the girls were all independent contractors. And that was before we did have to change. We had to change from cash, and then we had to change to some bullshit accounting
12
system.
people work there?
Ma tried to
24 people?
No, there was like 4 or 5 bartenders,
6-hour shift? When'd you go on? 11
6-hour
PM?
shift. No, I got in
Did they
early
have
and
a
left
lunch
at 1.
buffet? Was it that kind
Yes.
of a place?
Yeah, and
No
all
shit.
the
Was
business
it
guys.
BYOB?
No, it
Well,
was
she was the
alcohol.
bartender. It could not
Yeah,
have been.
and it was
No, but the bartender they keep your I've been to plenty of strip joints where it's BYOB. They give you a bracelet and you go, I'm the green
no, this
cooler,
was
and
just you
the
come into the
bartender
bar.
serves.
Nah, the girls were behind the bar, and they were interesting though. You got a
What
lot.
was the lunch
That's where I
buffet?
met the
Are we
Russian
talking
mob
about
girls. The Russian
Okay,
mob
hold on.
girls.
Put a pin in it. I'm was it fried shrimp? Buffalo
No,
wings? What are we talking about? Salad?
hamburgers, French fries, and chicken wings. That kind of shit.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, who did you meet from Russia?
Well, the Russian mob was bringing women in from Russia to be dancers, and they were sending money home to Russia.
What's the
And
statute of limitations that you can begin talking about this kind of stuff?
this is
Like, I assume we're in the clear.
This is
long
like
time. We're in the
50,
clear.
30 years.
No, it's been about, yes. My
There's
daughter
not like
was
a phone
little.
ringing where somebody's like, "Da," and
No.
they go, "Yeah, Sandy is talking."
This is
Oh,
what
wait a minute.
happened. No, this is what
The
happened.
statute of limitations doesn't apply to criminals.
Yeah, but
Like,
this
I
is
guess
so
it does.
long ago. These girls were absolutely gorgeous from Russia. They were
you have any
beautiful
pictures?
women. I don't know. I don't think I took pictures of the women because that's an invasion of privacy. Unless it was somebody that was my friend, like Velvet
I'm
or any
asking
of the
for
girls.
promotional materials,
This
not
is a long time
private
ago. I've lived a lot of life.
Polaroids or something.
I've lived a lot of life. I've
Was
had
there
many different
was
lives.
there a back room with a mirror with round lights all the way around it?
No, we didn't have that kind of place.
That's
It was
just the
run
movies,
by
isn't it?
it was run by a Canadian couple. Ma sat in the back at the table and
What-
barked out what to do. And Larry and
Like
Larry
what?
and his wife owned it, and they would cook. It was a family business.
What are
It
these
just
barked
happened to be a
commands?
dance.
Like what? Like dance faster.
No, go see what
Tuck
that
it
girl's
in.
doing. Make sure that there's nobody, the park and then Larry would go out to the parking lot. It was a family business, but
What
we
was
had
going on in the
dancers.
parking lot? Why would he go out there?
Making sure there was proper parking and everybody was safe in the parking lot. He would go out and make sure because it was on a busy road. So you wanted to make sure truckers stopped there. My ex-husband was
Sure.
a truck driver. And when I would work, sometimes when he was on his way home from driving, a couple days, 3 days, he'd stop at the bar. So
God, I wish my wife worked at a strip bar. I'd be like, oh, I'll swing by.
Yeah,
I just want to see him before
but
I go home,
let
honey.
me tell you, back then,
think.
all the dudes on regular road, all the guys that would hang around, all of us bartenders want to talk like we were psychologists. When my husband walked in, they were like, woof. They just always ran away. I don't know why. He was a big dude too, I guess. It was funny.
You're imagining the good parts of this. I'm imagining that they did your husband a favor, Sandy, because you walk into your wife's place of business, you cannot eyeball her coworkers. You can't do it, and it's a hell of a lot harder
He could have
when
looked
her
at anybody he
coworkers have their
wanted.
shirts off.
He could have looked and commented. I don't give a shit.
Fair enough.
didn't
I'm
care.
just saying, Matt's
Why would I care?
imagining like, yeah.
Why would I care? I'd be like, hey, look, she's pretty nice, isn't she?
Number
And I'm
one,
not like
hamburgers and French fries. Was it all you could eat buffet?
Yeah,
What
I
is
have
Matt
know.
imagining again?
You had-
Can you give us some more
I don't know what
information?
Matt's
please?
Matt's
imagining.
fantasizing
But listen,
about
this
this
is how
strip
I
club,
paid
and
for
he's like,
college,
hamburger
guys.
buffet?
It was
You could
good.
smoke in there, right?
I paid for back then.
Oh, you could
I
smoke,
had
have coffee, whiskey, a burger, and strippers.
Well, that's too much
And
going on.
and Ma from Canada is in the
Sitting
back
in the corner. Yeah.
barking orders, which for
and her
me would be like the best part. Like,
Yeah,
what is
and
going
then
on back
at
there?
night, we'd go back there and give her the bank, we'd count the money together
Oh,
because she
was
was
she
very
like
good.
was she like a madam? Like
No,
a
it was a
pimp?
stupid dancing place. She's an old lady
Yeah,
that
but
wanted her
technically,
money.
well, I mean, you
looking
just
for a
described
brothel.
just about every madam I've ever
Oh
heard
my
of.
God,
You're
Nina
gonna want to
Canadian.
find a
Yes,
massage
Nina.
parlor
Oh
that
my God,
unnecessarily
Nina
specifies a
knows the
nationality.
place. Nina knows the place.
Holy shit, what?
Larry from Canada with the place in New Jersey. That's right. I worked there for 10 years.
That's cool as hell.
Oh boy, that's hilarious. Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
Well,
That's
rest in
amazing.
peace because they've all passed. His wife was Patty. They've all passed. So nobody would know. I
I
can't
assume
believe
she's busting our
I can't
chops, but
believe
that's
this.
the
Oh,
way
it was a
I
joke.
choose not to believe
It's
that.
not true. She didn't
Mm.
know.
No,
Well,
don't tell me that. I was just saying. I
I
choose
was
not to
thinking
believe that. I
really
want to believe she met Larry.
I wanted to believe it because they were
There's one
maybe
Lawrence
they
Lawrence of Canada.
one Larry to
Yeah.
Canada that went to New Jersey, but it sounded plausible, Nina. I liked
What
it.
was the name of the area?
Suffern, New York, and it was on the border of New Jersey. So all the
It was
people,
in
all the
Suffering.
the guys that Suffern, the guys that worked at,
Oh.
like there was a lot of businessmen that worked at there was a watch company. It was a Japanese watch company that was in New Jersey, and it was a big place. A lot of the executives, a lot of the
Suffern?
workers. Suffern. Well, you said you didn't want to do too much politics tonight, so we're
Oh, I
talking
forgot to mute.
talking
That was a full-on
interesting.
mom sneeze. That was a
Yeah. Hi, Orb. I'm saying hi to everybody out there. Nina, you got me on that one because I'm thinking maybe people did know Larry. Larry and Patty. Yeah.
What you got, Matt? You got the address?
Was it the
Are you booking the plane
Friendly Inn, a
ticket?
friendly little bar? Is that what they
Friendly's
said?
in. It was Friendly's in.
No, but did they
Oh.
call it a friendly little bar?
No, I don't remember. I'll find for another time.
I mean,
I'll
it's
show you
tough
the
because Friendly's
the
is
menu
like a
and
very popular.
right.
Oh yeah, I love Friendlies.
But we were friendly bartenders because we had our regulars, and it was like it was fun. It was family. But I put myself through school, and that was the biggest thing. That was really the best thing. Put myself through school. Then I moved to Buffalo. Then Karen moved to California. They bulldozed the building. They made a bigger road.
Let me ask you this. Oh. Was it Friendly's like apostrophe S or IES?
Apostrophe S. Does that make a difference?
Well, I'll tell you, they've
No, it was
diversified
apostrophe S.
into soft serve
Family
ice cream.
restaurant.
Yeah.
It's the ice
And
cream.
I used to ride my Harley to work. I mean, I would park right in front. They thought, wow, that was across.
What were the hours of this place?
Well, if I worked 3 nights, it was like 6 to 1 in the morning. That was it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1,
Not
6
bad.
hours. Yeah, 3 nights. And definitely we bartenders were making sometimes, I think, better money than the dancers because we had our regulars that came in and they would tip a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
5,
that's
10,
understandable,
15,
though.
20, $25, $30. When I moved to Buffalo and I went to get a job to look for another job, and I wanted to go to another club because that's the business I knew. And I thought, well, this guy told me, oh yeah, if you make $50 a night in tips, you'll be, high rolling. I'm like, high rolling? Man, I have one person that leaves $50. So it was like a big shock to move to Buffalo. And then I just got out of the business. I mean, I went and bartended at a regular bar down in where I lived off Lake Erie, but it wasn't the same. I mean, if they tipped you 50 cents, that was an insane place to work. But then I graduated college.
Who did Greg hook up with $5? Whose channel is this?
This is
not
me.
mine.
This is my channel.
Oh, you've got yours
Nice.
on?
No, I
didn't
don't.
even. Oh,
I was lying. I made it
think
up.
it's Sandy.
it's not mine. Greg, oh, is it? Oh, it is. Hi, Greg.
I
Let's
got
see.
a new job
I
making a
gotta.
teensy bit more.
Oh, really? Thank
And
you,
since money
sweetheart.
is F and
Isn't that
BS in
nice? That's
2025, here's
really
a
lovely,
redistribution
Greg.
of wealth to
Thank
things that
you.
actually matter. Thanks,
That's,
Greg.
that's so nice.
Okay, so
No more. I'm done.
this is actually episode 27, not 26. It's 27.
You're always off by one, I noticed.
Yep. I fixed it and StreamYard just refuses to update it.
127 or 27 for this year?
27 of season 2.
Season 2. Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we're almost at 80 total episodes. Now, look, this is when Sandy decides to tell us that she used to work in a Russian mob / Canadian run strip club. And I'm just wondering, like, how long do we have to wait for the rest of the cool stuff to come out? Or can you think of anything now to share with us that we would, in a couple of episodes, be like,
yeah,
hey,
do like a little lightning round?
I do have a book. I swear to God, my life has been, oh my God.
Did you ever go to space camp?
No. I went
Here
to
we go.
I went to Sturgis.
Jake, love you too.
You, buddy.
Oh, look at that. I went to Sturgis a couple times. I rode cross country, San Francisco, Oregon, through the Cascades, all the way down.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it was. But I think
you ever see the movie Wild Hogs?
Yes. What a stupid fucking movie.
Is that accurate?
No.
Is that a realistic interpretation of the life?
How often are you accompanied by Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
Yeah, he was in Wild Hogs.
Never. Yeah, I know. That's an older movie. But no, it's not like that at all. No.
Not even close? Not even close?
Not really.
Maybe, you ever lay your bike down?
Nope. Maybe with the fellas. No. Once. Actually, I wasn't laying it down. We were going to a party and there was a property had some roots, roots that come up from the ground. Yeah. So when I parked a little bit too close to the root and I went like this. But I picked it up. I got up. Okay. And that was my first bike. And that was a heavy ass bike. I had 5.5 gallon Fat Bob tanks on it. So that was heavy. A lot of gas back then. It was cool. I had a cool life.
My motorcycle experience consists almost entirely of shortly after my brother went to the Marines, he got his first Marine paycheck and he bought a motorcycle with it. And then he had to go to war. And so there was a motorcycle in the driveway. And I had to move it. None of us, including him, knew where the keys were. And so I tried to move it. And instead of it going where I wanted it to, it fell over multiple times.
Wow.
And I did the honorable thing, of course, which is stick it in the garage and never tell him about it. I let him fight a whole war, not knowing that he was going to come home to a f***ed-up motorcycle.
Well, things happen.
That's what I would have done.
And by the time he comes home, you forgot about it, and you're like, "Oh,
well, yeah." I was. If he would have mentioned it, he never mentioned it. God bless him. And it was like it was visibly scratched. But I was literally just going to blame Al Qaeda. I was going to be like, "Oh, you have PTSD. You didn't know this was like this when you left? Oh, oh, it's so sad. What happened to you?
You don't remember being out here in the garage last night scratching your bike? Huh.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
You were like
coming out and being like, IDs.
Okay. Real quick.
Little PTSD.
I am really not trying to beat a dead horse, but what were some of the other rules the strippers had to follow that you needed to regulate and make sure they were doing?
Yeah, I actually kind of want to know myself. Because I didn't realize
they had to, because, New York had that rule. You really could not have hair sticking out of your G-string.
Okay, we got that one.
Okay, we got that one. And you can't leave the bar. So you can't.
I didn't realize this is something I want.
You can't even go outside on a break. We didn't let unless it was with one of us or whatever, because we didn't want anybody outside for any reason being unsafe with some kind of asshole that we didn't know,
It makes
So we were
sense, but it
very.
feels like an OSHA violation that you
Do you
have to
think
remain on the
OSHA
job
even
site when you're
came?
not being paid.
No, we just went out with them or an escort. We wanted to make sure they were safe. It's a safety
I
So
know.
issue.
I
you had
mean,
escorts at the strip
I
joint too?
understand, but it just
No,
it
one
seems
of
like when
us.
I'm on break,
You
y'all
were an
don't
escort
can't
at
give
the
me
strip
rules.
joint? Is that what you're saying?
No, I would stand outside with somebody if she wanted to go do
She
something
would
to make
escort
sure.
them outside, not
Yes.
act as an
If they
escort
tried to
for
leave
money.
sight of their handlers, she would alert the handlers, run them down, drag them
No.
back.
Yeah. Make sure
I'm
they didn't
joking.
get
I'm joking.
hammered.
How
Too
many
hammered.
were? Oh, right, because people are buying them drinks,
Mhm.
right?
All night long.
Yeah.
You gotta watch everything. You gotta have eyes in the
Buy
back
me
of
a
your head and that kinda.
$25 glass of water, that kind of thing.
Well, they didn't drink water.
What about how many strippers or sorry, dancers were allowed on stage at one time?
2.
And so like if there were 4 total, they would just take shifts?
Yeah, in New York at the bar at the place where the rules in New York back then were actually one if there was, let's say, 2 girls the whole night, it would just be shifts. Half an hour on, half an hour off, half an hour on. So you had to be creative as a dancer, and there were some amazing dancers that came in
You
and
mean
had
the patrons
cool.
would get bored? They'd be like, "I've seen this move.
Right, but these girls, they come
Mix
in
it
to see
up."
or they come to see their favorite, and the girls had great costumes. There were a lot of them with amazing
Oh, they were
costumes,
thematic,
and
huh? So they would
yes,
do like
yes,
naughty nurse.
a lot of different
Any
ones.
cops? Any naughty cop with the
Oh, I can't
handcuffs?
remember. Who can
Sandy, I
remember
need a
that?
judgment call on
Oh,
something Matt
I can't
said, 'cause
remember that. It wasn't that high
irking me.
class of a place.
We're gonna
Well,
need some judgment calls here.
Yeah. Sandy, as
I'm
someone
gonna make
who
nobody
worked
ever come back to my channel.
alongside these heroes of the poll, if I were a stripper, I'm taking my clothes off professionally and having to
Mhm,
make it look good professionally,
mhm.
and somebody called me a dancer, they corrected themselves and called me a dancer, I would say that's stolen valor.
I think it's the
There's a
preferred
lot of people that are
nomenclature.
dancers. I, Jake, am a
Okay.
dancer. I
There
dance.
are
I dance at
girls
weddings.
that say I don't know anymore, I'm so far away from it,
Bullshit.
but strip club, dancers, exotic dancers, and a lot of them were very good.
Were
And
they
But
then you had
you
topless?
can let's be real here.
Yeah,
Topless though?
You can
yeah.
you can strip and
It
not
was
dance.
very, very not
That's true.
feminist job.
Were there
It was
poles?
a
Yeah,
not
because
it
they're
was
you're
I
right,
mean,
Jake, they're
I
not
was
dancer
working
poles,
in
they're
an
stripper poles.
I was working in an exploitive industry.
Okay.
I would agree with both. I would agree with half that and disagree with the other half. An exploitive, whatever, an
Well, they were
exploitive,
voluntarily
whatever
there.
industry. Yes, I agree. But
Mhm.
I think it's amongst the most feminist careers you can have. Person wants to see me take my clothes off so bad they'll give me the money from their wallet. Yeah, the power is going one way there. And by the way, they earned it. They earned it like a
Was
ball
there
player.
music
Hell
playing?
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah,
What
they
kind
would.
of music?
Well, at first we had a really shitty jukebox, and then I talked Larry and
That's
I said,
awesome.
"Listen, get a sound system so that if the girls have a choreographed recording, they can put that in and dance to their music."
Like a
You know,
cassette tape or an 8-track? What are we talking about?
back then, cassette.
Awesome. So they're like, I
That
made
would
a
be
mix.
rad.
Yep.
This is gonna go with my
And then it
sci-fi
turned into
themed
then it turned into
strip.
CDs. Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm. And then they
When did you make that switch over? What was that day like when you had all CDs, or was it gradual over
I
time?
don't remember. It was gradual. My God, I have so many stories. We're not going to do this tonight. I mean, there,
Yes,
like,
we are gonna
there's a
do we're
whole
doing
we
it.
life
did it.
of
We're
The
already
list
like,
is
40
done.
minutes in. We might as well do it now. We're already pretty
Yeah,
much there. We're almost all the way done.
We gotta move past
track.
eventually.
Were they dancing in a car
Dancing in the back of a van.
or boomer? That's funny.
What? Okay, so I'm imagining this place had like wood paneling walls.
Son of a
Yeah, we
bitch.
still talking.
It did.
Look,
Okay.
you
All right.
gotta leave some mystery. Not
there
unlike
was there
the
carpet?
crotch line that can never be
On the
taken away. Of,
stage.
you know,
There was
Carpet
we got
line
these-
stage.
Yeah, at that time there was. And
That
the
seems like a
first
problem.
the first stage wasn't. And no, they had I think it was a carpet lined stage, like it was round. So they
Yeah.
had it on the edges, but it really wasn't. It was a floor
Theater
when they
in the
redid it.
round.
It was a floor when they did it.
Linoleum floor, just like was it black and white checkered
It
linoleum?
certainly wasn't an expense. No, it was actually a wooden floor. It looked like a wooden cabin.
Oh.
Looked Canadian. It looked
Okay.
Canadian. You
So
know
a
what
lot
they
of
used to
flannel
call?
in there.
You know what they used to call the dancing exotic dancing places in Canada? Because I live in Buffalo, obviously, and the guys used to go across to the Canadian Ballet over in outside
Well, you know
Niagara
what?
Falls.
A historically fitting name, given the history of ballet.
Yeah,
What about
Canadian
like?
Ballet.
Did you have beers on tap? Was it just
Yep.
bottles? Was it just
No, we had
cans?
taps and bottles and everything.
you
Full bar. I was
serving-
good. I've been very good mixologist in
Were
my
you
life.
serving 7-Up and RC Cola in a can with a straw?
I don't remember if
With
we
the
had
straw.
RC
I'm gonna
Cola.
say yes, you were. And did
I
you leave a
think
little
we
bit
were.
of paper on the end of the straw?
No, I don't remember that. We would pour
Were there
their
peanuts
no. We
out?
poured their soda in
Were
glasses.
there peanuts?
Mm.
Yes,
There was some.
every now and then when they felt like not being cheap. Larry put out pretzels and all that. He pretty much did. Yeah, everybody got fed, and they all bought food. There was good, if somebody was. The bad part was when you had to bartend and cook if somebody didn't show up or something happened. That I hated. Yeah, I had to have some fill in and bartend. Oh my God, that was like the worst. Yes. You do all of that. You work hard. I worked hard. I was on my feet the whole time. And then you're dragging and carrying the ice buckets up. They're 5-gallon ice buckets. No, filling up the
Changing
ice,
kegs.
cleaning up. No, I didn't do changing kegs.
You have bar back.
You draw the line in changing kegs. You would
I'm
never.
not fucking changing kegs.
What
Let the
about bouncers?
guys
Did you have
do that.
bouncers?
Only for certain occasions.
What do you mean?
If there was going to be something that was
Sporting event?
maybe going to bring in people that we didn't know, because we knew most of the regulars. You want to know something really funny there?
Imagine
Yes.
being a regular at a strip club.
It was, oh, honey, it's just
I
like
come
that.
in here on Monday, Tuesday, sometimes on Thursday.
It's like Cheers with boobies. I mean, a lot of
You know what? I'm sold.
a lot of, but it was really a lot of people that knew each other. They came after work. Some guys brought their wives in because they were all
What the
friends.
fuck?
They were all
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
It wasn't perverted. They were coming in to sit in
Oh,
regular
no.
row with their wives to talk with everybody that was there, and they ignored the dancers. Seriously, it was a pretty interesting place. But I'm just trying to figure out now what I was going to bring up. I don't remember.
No, you said, do we want to hear something weird? And I said,
I know
yes.
now.
I want to
can't
hear the
think
weird
what-
thing so
I
bad.
don't know what it was now.
Well,
can't
we'll get to
remember.
it. Did you have one of those lights in the back of the room where they kept putting in a new colored filter?
No,
You know how it like changes yellow,
no, we had
red,
had
green?
lights on the top. Our lights were on the top. And then, we always had dancers that turn the lights up, turn the lights down, turn the lights up.
That's a fun thing to yell, though.
Yeah.
Hit the lights.
Yeah, because
I
some
would do that
dancers-
even if the lights were hit.
Well, some didn't want the bright lights that were
Understandable.
really.
There's
really
a strip bar in a strip club in Boulder, Colorado. And it's called the Bus Stop because at one time it was a bus stop.
Okay.
And they changed it. And so they would do, it was 24 hours and they would do like I think it was 24
the
hours, but there was like a
what?
day shift and a night shift.
Yeah.
Who's wait,
And-
who's going in at 5 a.m.?
All the
Yeah.
workers
Or
that
hasn't
get off
left
those
by
night,
5 a.m..
the people
And-
that have different shifts, night
and
shifts.
they would
I like to
do-
go in at 8:30 a.m. sharp. Get my
Between
coffee.
shifts, at the end of one shift and the beginning of the next one, all the dancers would be on the stage. There were like 4 stages. They would all be out at once. Dozens of girls all
Oh,
at
you
the
mean
same
shifts and
time.
shifts?
And they called
Yeah.
it Bus Stop.
Oh,
at the
okay.
bus stop. And it was like they would all just go out at the same time, and you didn't have enough money to
Well, New York
be
bars
there for
were
that. I was there on
different.
my bachelor party. That's
New
all.
York, it would
And
be
for
2
3 weeks
girls would show up for the night shift, 2 girls or 3 maybe for the day shift, whatever was the most busy. And they would do half-hour sets. New Jersey was like that. Um,
Were you
I
guys
I
selling drugs under the bar? Or like,
No, we were all housewives.
was
I
there a
mean,
back
we
room
were
at
all
all? Yeah, it's the
no.
70s though, right? Isn't that what you said?
And why
No,
risk your legal
70s. I
shady
was a
business?
child in the
Or
70s, you
ill
ass.
When
I'm not
was it?
that. How
When
old
did
do
you
you
say it
think
was?
I am? It was in the 80s when I was very
Okay, I mean, that's
young,
not
but
that different.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
not
married.
wildly off.
I was married, but and then
Okay.
actually in the 90s, it went to the 90s.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just
It went to the
imagine you at
90s.
like 21 working in a bar.
Well, I was married already. I was older, but well, actually, no, I wasn't when I first started working. I wasn't married. Put it that way.
Okay,
Nope.
so when you left, what sort of send off did they give you?
A big going away party.
Okay,
Everybody was
so
there. It was great.
Can we get them on the show?
yeah,
Can we get
how many of
Larry on
these
the show?
folks are
They're
willing
dead.
to?
Larry and Ma and Patty are dead. Karen lives in California. I don't know. She has.
This
Oh,
is the first I'm hearing of
she
it.
could tell a
they're
lot
dead?
of stories. Yeah,
You
they'll
don't
be.
have pictures from this era?
Yeah, but I have to look for them.
Oh, well, that's your assignment.
Oh my god! All I
Um,
have is pictures of me riding my bike. I don't have.
Tune
I
in
don't know if I
next
have
week
pictures
for
of
Left
our
Past
pictures.
10, the stripper years.
Yeah, nobody cares. Everybody wants
I
to go
beg
on
to
to it.
differ.
I think they all do. I've got 24 people on my channel going, okay, when is she going to talk about the doom or the doomosphere?
I graduated high school in 1993.
I moved to Buffalo in 1993.
I did not graduate high school or move to Buffalo.
I went to in Baltimore, Maryland. There's an entire block of strip bars called The Block. And it's amazing. On the adjacent block, Baltimore City Police. The entire fucking block, right? Like it's like, okay, strategically placed, I guess. But you walk down there and they're like, we got girls in here right now. Come in, come in, come in, come in. They got guys on the street being like, come in, we got girls on
Right.
stage right now. And I'm like, I realize I'm not surprised. Like it was just a weird thing that they do to get like oh, you do? Oh, okay. Because the sign was throwing me off. Right?
Oh my God. I don't know if it's like this anymore. I mean, it used to be there was a lot of these little clubs and little bars that had dancers, but all over. And I don't think it's like that anymore at all. I don't think there's even
They all
one
got
in
shut
Buffalo.
down.
The last
In
one in
Dearborn,
Buffalo had a
it sure
shooting
is.
or there was criminality or whatever. I don't
Tell us,
think
Jake.
there
Tell
really
us about
are.
the Dearborn club scene. What do
Yeah.
we got?
In
Yeah.
Dearborn, like 1 in 5 women is wearing a full-on hijab. And they don't, like a lot of folks around here, don't drink alcohol at all. And yet, there are strip clubs everywhere. And
Oh my
one
God.
time, I was trying to meet my parents down the street from my house.
Of course.
And I wanted to, just moved in this house. I'm trying to impress them a little bit. I was like, I'm going to take them to a nice place. And so I directed them to a place called BT's Executive Lounge. Sounded nice. It sounded fancy. And what was very confusing is it was back to back with a restaurant, and the restaurant faced the street, which is where my intelligent parents walked in. And I'm in the lobby to the strip club. Like, I have to pay $20 just to sit down. I haven't even ordered anything. I haven't had apps. I haven't had anything. I got to pay you $20. And the guy's like, yeah. I'm like, it's like the policy. You're not just doing this to me. He's like, yeah.
Hi, Trev. Yeah.
We went back and forth for a while before he politely told me I was in the wrong place. Anyway, that's
politely? He told you politely?
I mean, once you've accepted that you're dealing with an idiot, it's hard to be angry at them. you have some knowledge of like just
They're just
what the
not.
world
They're
must
not
be like.
capable of handling what is
Yeah, like
happening.
he knew if he insulted me, I wouldn't get it until an hour later. So what's the point?
Yeah. Okay.
That is such a Jake thing to do. Like, because
Like an hour later. Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
So,
He got me good. Dang it, he got me good.
in the upstate where I am in
Yes.
South Carolina, it's there. Apparently, there's a strip club. I was talking to someone
Apparently, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. I don't have a detailed map in my head right now.
I know where it
think
is,
about
Well,
it,
it's the fourth hour that I'm there.
There's it's called Godiva's, but there was there's no adult bookstores or anything like that. I'm not sure what is
It
like
can
that
happen.
besides just an adult bookstore, but there's nothing like that. It's totally illegal. Yeah, keep in mind you couldn't get tattoos here until 2011, right?
Oh my god.
So like there's
Oh,
all
how
the liquor
progressive.
stores, all the liquor stores have 3 red dots on them because there was prohibition for so long that once they were allowed to sell alcohol, they were like, we got to identify these. And there's conflicting lore around this, but the popular theory is that liquor stores were like, we'll just put 3 big red dots on the store, like painted on the building. And that's how you'll know it's a liquor store from miles away or whatever. But I was talking to somebody and I said, well, it's really, it kind of freaks me out that there's no outlet for people. Like, because aren't they repressing all of this? And isn't it going to get twisted and distorted because there's no outlet? Like they can't just go buy some porn. You know what I mean? They can't buy a magazine or whatever. Isn't that going to get weird? There's no theaters or anything like that.
When
and
you
they're like, well, there's
too much, it becomes something weird.
Yeah. And they said there's one strip club. And I was like, oh, so you can have strip club. Why is there only one?
I gotta get this thing.
It's gotta
It's
be
a monopoly. That's illegal.
It's gotta be
Kind of
bad.
is.
But anyway, I just think that's weird, right? It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
In Longmont, in Colorado, there was one like adult bookstore which was like on Main Street, and the parking lot was always empty.
That seems gross.
Well, but I was like
a lot of frills for a glory hole, you know?
Ew.
Like,
yeah.
We've got a stall in a hole.
I don't want to talk about that. My place was tasteful and
but it's not a big enough town.
Your glory hole was sophisticated. All right, fair enough.
There was no glory hole. There was just beautiful.
Oh, you're talking about your legitimate job. No, we're talking about adult bookstores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Longmont's
very different.
Do they still have those?
Yeah. Well, I never went into the place. I'm just saying, like, Longmont was a small enough place that putting one on Main Street, is pretty much a sure bet no one's gonna go there because you'd be like, oh, look who's parked out in front of the fucking bookstore.
Jeffries.
Oh, Jake's over there every Sunday at 2:00. Look at this. Like, it's on your way to the grocery store. It's on your way to any number of breweries. That would be embarrassing as shit.
There was one of those on my way home from Buffalo from work. It was a big place. It would sell all that adult shit. It was adult everything store and clothes and all.
Yeah. Now look, adult. That's what I'm saying. Is like, if you want to order that stuff online, fine. Keep it between you and your letter carrier, right? But like,
yeah,
you could also just duck into the adult bookstore, look at the selection, walk out of there with whatever you need, and mind your own fucking business. And the guy behind the counter is probably just like, this is what I built the store for.
Adult bookstore.
You know, here's an idea.
What do they sell there anymore?
Bookstore, and at the door, we give you a ski mask. So that you are.
Oh no, that's
vinyl.
Arrested for that.
Well, we used to when I worked at a clothing warehouse, we had a truck would deliver pallets of boxes of clothing, and we'd put them on the warehouse shelves and all that, and then we would pack them up and send them to stores. And I was in the shipping and receiving department for a while, and that's how I knew about this. And then this guy the truck driver would pull up and we'd unload everything, and I'd be like, what are these pallets? And he goes, that's my next stop. And I'm like, yeah, but why are they wrapped in black? And he goes, "They're for the porn shop." And I was like, "Oh." And so,
Rat
of
in
course, I was
Black.
23, so I was like, "Let's take a look." So,
Yeah.
so we like,
Well, they used
we
to
all
have all
have
that
box
stuff.
knives on us, so I just cut the black a little bit to see what was, and it was just, dildos and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that was
Shit.
ever about books. I think bookstores like kind of just like,
I got a business idea. If I want to offer you all a chance to get on the ground floor of this,
okay,
if you're eager to lose your money, just to frustrate a handful of people. And here's
okay,
the plan. We open an adult bookstore, right?
okay.
And the only thing it sells is books that are not, like young adult fiction. It's purely, I guess we can do young adult, but
What's a
it's
book? It's
21 and up.
2025.
It's only by authors over the age of 40,
Yeah, it's got to
right?
be
Like
both.
it's an
It's got to
adult
be
bookstore.
fully. It's written by adults for adults. So we've got like the
Okay.
Da Vinci Code. We've just
Marx,
there's no Harry
like
Potter,
Capital by
no Percy
Karl Marx.
Jackson. Yeah.
People would come in
But-
there and turn around all day. People would just come in and go,
Yeah.
"The fuck?" and leave. It'd be like bing, bing, bing,
Bing,
bing, bing,
bing.
bing, bing.
We're
You'd be
having
like,
quite
"Hi,
a
come on in,"
conversation
and they're
out
like,
there.
"The fuck?" And they're like, "Do you have a
Meanwhile, I'm
back room
sitting
or
in the
anything?"
stall, like, what the hell?
Can I talk to Layla out there?
Like one
Yeah.
person got that.
Hi,
I
Layla.
appreciate you out
One
there.
of the most beautiful, beautiful dancers that we had there was trans. Holy shit. She was just stunning. Just wanted
Oh
to,
yeah.
well, Layla's out there talking about porn was the only education we had being trans. Well, this
Ooh,
woman
good
was a
point.
beautiful dancer.
I
I'll never
hope you
somebody-
got the right education and not like the sex is a German guy going, yeah.
Well, she's out there. Layla's out there. Just want to tell you. Shout out.
Well, Mazel Tov.
May like,
Layla.
why is sex so taboo? I mean, it's totally overrated.
It's
That's
Well, I
the
did-
funny thing. People like,
It's not
why?
Jimmy hard
taboo.
disagree, but it's it's more taboo in the US, I would say.
Well,
It's
It
yeah,
taboo
like,
wasn't
amongst us for
always.
some reason.
why is it
It wasn't.
illegal where I live? Because they're
Oh.
better than that? What do you mean better?
Wait, what's
You're
illegal
doing that at
where you live?
home, like
Everything?
no, I just mean like a like an adult store, like where you would buy sex toys and stuff
Right.
like that, or pornography. It's like it's illegal here because why?
Yeah.
It's filthy. You're not
Isn't
doing
there a
sex?
bill that some congressman put through in, I don't know if it was a certain state, that you can only, by law, you can only own like 4 sex toys? Literally,
Texas,
this
it's
is
6.
okay.
It's 6. We
Okay.
talked about this. It was
Oh,
Adrian
okay.
Vixen, and
All right.
Cosmopolitics brought this up to me on my show a couple of nights ago, and I was like,
I
could
missed
not
it.
get past it.
I just
I
That's
was
wanted
like, where'd they
I
come
did
up with
not
that
bring it
number?
up. I just
Because
wanted
these people, like,
clear my
who's
name.
gonna
I
come
did
in
not
and,
bring it up.
oh, but who's looking in your drawer? I mean, are they gonna have a
Right.
registry of what sex toys you buy? How fucking crazy
How'd
is
they land on
everything?
6?
It's one for every bullet in the revolver.
I was gonna
Oh.
say, who is the politician that passed this? Do we
Oh,
know?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I would have so
Because
Somebody
the
many
out there, look
embarrassing
it
representative could
up.
only
questions for
fit
them.
5.
Look it up.
But wasn't it specifically that women can only own 6?
I'm gonna have to look it up. How
And,
many
like,
sex
what
It
if-
is like the logic
What if
there is
one is
funny. I have.
blended? Is that 6 and a
What do
half?
they think after a certain point it's considered dealer? Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you start making laws like that, it's I immediately assume it's projection. And it's like, what are you worried
Okay.
about, right? It's like whoever
6
said
or more. It is
no sex shops in South Carolina
I'm gonna
upstate.
put
It's
this.
like
I'm gonna put this.
you're immediately trying to cover something.
yeah.
All right. I'm
Mark
putting it
Robinson
in.
returns.
You can
absolutely.
have 6, and it says it's currently illegal to own 6 or more obscene devices in
6
the
or
state.
more?
Yeah, according to Texas Penal Code 43-2.
Okay, so I have 6
little peony
dildos and a
code.
dough roller.
What's a dough roller?
A 5.
A rolling
apparently.
pin. It's just
If
got
it's
an
6
odd
or
shape
more.
to it.
A rolling pin. Okay, so see, I'm behind on the times.
People are gonna be,
I
Why
don't
is your
know what
bread
Now wait,
veiny?"
hold on. So what's the law now? You can
6
own
or more it's illegal to own 6 or more obscene devices.
God, that is so dumb. Why?
This is-
What are they?
Who determines what is
Oh,
obscene and how is
shit.
the
The whole
enforcement
fucking
mechanism?
world has these things at their disposal. Why would you? Oh, it's so weird. I was at
It's
Walmart.
an invasion of privacy and it's control.
Yeah,
I was at,
and it's so
that's
that
bad.
when they are harassing somebody, they can add on to those charges in an
Jeez.
embarrassing way.
yeah,
That's
that's what it is.
horrible.
What happened
I
at
was
Walmart?
looking for a specific facial cleanser that
So
I've been
much
using for
freedom.
like 20 years now. And it's the only thing my skin responds to. And I kind of like can't live without it. And I was looking for it. It's always out of stock.
Oh,
And
What
like
is it?
it's called
is it?
Yes 2, and
Yes.
it's a tomato-based facial cleanser. So I'll buy
Tomato
this
I'll
4
grow
at a
you some.
time. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
$12 to $15 depending, and I'll buy like 4 at a time and just have them in stock as backups. On the website, you can only get 1 at a time. You can't order more than 1, right? So it's hard to find. So they used to sell it at
what's in it.
Walmart, tomatoes, and then like
Yeah, but I want to see what else is in it.
Tomato based.
I could probably make you something like that.
Rush is just ketchup.
so
The
they're a
sugar.
good company too. They're a good company. So I was looking around Walmart because they used to
Yeah.
have them, and I see this glass case locked up
Yeah.
where they keep all the lube. And I was like, so you can't buy lubricant at Walmart without somebody unlocking this case for you?
There's an irony there.
Why are they locking up all the lubricants? They just
That's
I
really
mean, are
funny.
all lubricants for sex?
And they're aware of the slippery types.
Are
That
they?
want to steal it.
So they've
Those
created an
slippery son of
environment.
a bitches.
They've created an environment where people are too ashamed to
Yeah,
buy it and they'll
sure.
steal it. So
Yeah.
now you have to go a step further and ask for it. So it's almost like they're saying,
Sure.
we don't want people to buy this stuff, so we're going to lock it up. So they have to
Yeah,
ask for
but
it,
they've
which
been
we know
locking
they'll
up
never do.
products for a long time. They've been locking up
But
certain things for a
lubricant,
long time.
it's not cigarettes or
We should do malicious compliance. Like I should roll in there and be like, "Hello, I'd like to have anal sex with
What
my
the hell
gentleman
was
friend
that?
this
What-
Yeah.
evening."
I want to buy all the KY jelly you have so I can go home and
That's
have
it,
anal sex. So
KY
please
jelly.
unlock this cabinet.
I'm sorry you have to hear about it, but it's become your business.
Or you
You've
say, wait,
decided
nope.
this.
I'm buying something for a friend.
I intend to. I generally power bottom, which I'm going to run through a
Yep.
great deal of it. But I do intend to take a whack at vigorously topping tonight as well. So I'll need
And then when he
variety of
locks
choices.
Good for
when he
her.
locks the case up, go,
Sex
actually
past 10.
put 2 of these back because maybe I'll come back and are you going to be here tomorrow? Because I want to make sure that now that I've relied on you and now that you know my secret, I don't want to be shameful around too
Jeez.
many people. Are you going to
I
be
want
here
to
tomorrow?
talk to you
Chanel.
specifically.
Because I
after
want
I've
you to
done this
unlock
thing.
this case for me every day for the rest of
Yeah.
your fucking time at this job and hand me lubricant.
That does sound kind of fun. Like up
That
3
would be
p.m.
great.
Gotta go get the lubricant guy.
You'd be like,
Find the
hey,
most socially awkward person and make their life
This is hilarious.
bad now. But
can you open the lube cabinet? Thanks. But I was like,
Oh,
you gotta
God.
be fucking kidding me. They
pull
put
up
it
with like
all
a
in
like
one
a
place.
what do you call non-professional teams? Like people that just play for a hoot.
Amateur?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
just-
Pull up with like an amateur rugby team and be like, I've got a yes on an unsuspected yes on an ambitious proposal, and I'll tell you, need you to unlock that case for me.
all of these guys need you to give me as much lube as I'm allowed to buy at one time, please.
Oh my
Do
God.
something like that, right?
Choo choo. The
Sex
train
past
is
10.
leaving the station.
Looney
you
is
will.
hysterical out there. Tonight's Sex Past 10 has been brought to you by Pornhub.
Yeah, this is
Sex
the
past 10.
Sex Past 10.
this is the most
Oh,
scandalous
well, we're
show
having
we've had
fun.
yet.
Is
But
this
I-
scandalous?
Apparently lubricant is scandalous. I didn't think it was.
I'm falling more
I
and more
think
in love with
Matt's
this.
gonna have to unlist this
G-strings,
one this week. I
pussy
think
hair and lubricant.
I'm just getting more and more into the idea of an incredibly straight-laced person, like an incredibly uptight seeming person being put in a position where they're like, fair enough, like sociopath level not caring about, like they're just doing business, but it's a wilder and wilder set of circumstances.
Yeah, like I'd walk in there and be like, excuse me, I'm here to buy copious amounts of lubricant. I understand that they're behind lock and key. Can you help me? And they're like, yeah, no problem. It's over here. And I go, okay, because I feel a little weird about it.
This would be really funny.
And then when you're
I'm behind you, I'm
walking,
like, and imagine a luau where I'm the pig.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But you make sure it's from way across the store. So like on the way down all these aisles, you're like, I'm actually kind of ashamed of this, but have you ever heard of like
No, keep going. Keep going.
Have you ever heard of like a carnival style rodeo? You know what I mean? Like you just start saying all kinds of crazy shit.
And have someone film it. How could you have someone film it? That would be funny.
And be like, we're gonna
I like the fact that they asked to be part of people's business. And so you're like, all right, you can get the business then. You're gonna get the full business. I'm gonna treat you like my doctor. I'm gonna tell you the things.
Do you think that lubricant has gone up with the tariffs?
Why is it locked up?
Where is it imported from? Oh, I'm gonna look that up now.
Where do we get our sex grease as a country?
Where is KY
Am I crazy though? Is it always locked up?
I don't know.
Not around these parts, but
I was just looking for a facial cleanser. So I'm in that aisle.
I go to like a
and at the end of that aisle,
Johnson and Johnson.
Like, why are you buying lubricant from the same place you
buy Johnson and Johnson?
You know?
No, I would
KY jelly.
Just gonna put that in the bag with.
I wasn't buying lubricant. I just noticed it.
My
was
groceries, you know.
Oh wait.
But what was your question, Jake?
It was.
That it was
like why? I'm just saying, like, it's never locked up at the place I go. But when I buy lubricant, it is from a sex store, wherein that's amongst the tamest things.
Okay,
you can purchase. I'm not understanding why.
It's all about power creep.
Can I ask you guys how healthy this shit is? It says it's made in England. It's got water, glycerin, hydroethyl cellulose, gluconolactone,
make
methylparaben, sodium hydroxide, chlorhexidine, digluconate. I'm like, what are you gonna snort it off?
Good to know, Forbes. I'll head to Alaska next time. I just want to buy it, do self-checkout. No shame involved.
If it's made in England, right, in the UK, where do they source the different parts? Because now pharmaceuticals are going to be taxed a different way, and all of these things
we're gonna onshore lube.
That's a good one. Onshore lube. That's what all night.
We just got to get factories up and running, but yeah, lube's going to be all American from now on. Don't worry.
I think I'm losing people on my channel.
The streets will be paved with lubricant.
Paved with lubricant. See, guys, we have to sometimes veer off the political or the stressful shit because we're all to there, and we do our shows and
we're drawing conclusions for a change.
Yeah, we're drawing conclusions.
It's true. It's true.
But it is pretty amazing when I was hearing about all the different chemicals that might go into drugs, and that the United States uses the most drugs, and that they're sourced from different countries. So India you might have one pill with 4 different kinds of things, granule things that were sourced from a different country. So now I'm on this kick. I want to learn all about it.
I do love pills.
Yeah, pills are neat.
Kim says I've corrupted my new friend. There's somebody in the chat that I just recently met at the hands down thing, and she's now in the chat. I'm like, Chantel, wait.
It's all over.
Chanel Welch, welcome. No, it's cool.
Hi, Chanel.
Yeah.
So I'll show you what I was.
So you
looking
were at the hands down, hands off.
I mean, hands off.
Whichever one.
Hands off. Oh, this is the stuff. Tomato fragrance free, daily clarifying cleanser with salicylic acid, which is really good for like getting that layer off of your skin. That's yucky. That's
Is
good
this an
stuff.
advertisement?
Yep.
And it's
Sponsor.
not expensive either. Did your wife
And-
approve?
Yeah. But the hands
She
down
loves
is
natural stuff.
hands off was a protest. Hands down was one of the things Sandy used
Yeah,
to
hands
yell at the stripper. Hands down.
Yeah,
But-
I'm sorry, but you're wiggling your boobs too high. Hands
I love
down.
it. That's so funny. That is so good. I just imagine like a lot of Kenny Rogers playing in the background, right? And like
Oh, well, it wasn't the South. I mean, it was out of New Jersey.
No, you're
Kenny
thinking
Rogers is pretty mainstream in the
no,
80s.
not Kenny Rogers.
No,
You're thinking,
most of these dancers really were into
Michael McDonald.
Loggins. Kenny
1990s Nickelback, or they
Wasn't
they were
like
into
Yacht
all
Rock?
that. No, they were into good stuff. A lot of them. Well, and sometimes people came, like I said, they came with their own music. But it
What
was
do you
usually
reckon
pretty
is
good.
the stripper
Right.
song this year?
Oh,
I haven't
this
the
year I
foggiest
would
idea.
never know. I
I'm
could
not
tell you
that
what it
guy.
was.
This year?
Yeah, well,
Do
I
they
bet we
still
can
make
Thriller.
Google it.
music?
When Michael Jackson shit was like big thing way back.
I'm gonna
You ever
say
stripped
it's
Michael Jackson? Is that what they were doing back then?
Yep.
remains pour
Interesting.
some sugar on me. I'm gonna say that even though it's been several decades. All right. Number 1 stripper song,
Oh,
I'm
we're
looking
looking
at
it up.
Oh, you're.
2025.
Spotify playlist,
Oh,
Strip
I
Club
would not know.
2025.
I'll look up the number 1 stripper song for 1993.
Nice.
Okay. Number 1.
I am singing. I am seeing no definitive list, but this one suggests "Earned It" by The Weeknd. Fitting. I haven't even heard the song.
Oh my God, this is like
don't know
giving me
anything about it.
nothing good. What was the number
everybody,
1
what was
Whoopty
your
by
song?
stripper
CJ.
named D if you had to take one?
What?
Whitney Houston.
Laugh Now,
What would your
Cry
stripper
Later
name be?
by Drake and Lil Durk. Yeah, I don't know what people talk
I'm
about
not sure.
a beef that Drake had with somebody a lot, and I'm like, I'm not gonna invest any time in that. I have no idea what anyone's talking about. It doesn't
know
mean
what, man?
anything.
I gotta say, a lot of these celebrity beefs are not worth getting into. That
Yeah.
one actually is gratifying. If you,
Oh, yeah.
I would recommend as a fellow honky, someone who's
That's all anybody talked
mentally
about after the
challenged,
Super Bowl.
Josh Johnson's summary of it.
Oh, okay.
It's just very here. I'll tell you in a nutshell because I know you're
Mhm.
not interested, but here's why I liked
In
it.
a nutshell.
The guy who got was annoying. It was just annoying. It was like a Justin Bieber type, basically. And it turns out he's actually
Justin
a bad
Bieber's
person. And
still-
apparently, everybody
He's
knew
still
this.
getting shit on
Oh.
like 20 years later. The Jake to the
I'm
world.
sorry. It's not even anything against.
He was
Bieber.
a victim.
He was annoying, and he got paid millions. He's fine, but he was a little bit annoying.
Yeah,
And
but people
this guy
get
was also
emotionally upset, and that I don't know.
whatever. It's not about Bieber. It's about this
Okay.
random pop star. And when when Kendrick got him with a great song, it was one of those songs where you listen to it and you go like, oh God, that got published. It was shocking. Anyway, sorry, moving on. Now we can do a clip that says Kendrick Drake summarized
Moving on.
by the left.
Oh yeah. No.
Oh,
I'll
get a
this
get
is
million
the
views.
official left summary.
Yeah. We should
there are
appoint
people
ourselves
who-
as the official leaders of the left and just
Yeah.
wait for the anger to.
Well, there are people who will talk about this topic seriously, and I just change the channel, and I'm like, this is not.
Yeah, unless you're
This
like
is
a
not
huge
mutual aid. This
music
has
fan,
nothing to do
just-
with
yeah,
anything. It's
It's not.
Oh, because you only watch YouTube videos with mutual aid.
No,
weren't
I'm
watching
watching.
Stupid math bullshit when I came in here beforehand.
What?
Or
Oh,
like,
Um,
the math.
shoes.
Yeah, but that was
It's not
a good
interesting if you don't
video.
know the musicians. You
The
know?
stand-up math guy is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
my
he's got
brother
the
sent me
best
that
video on
video.
tariffs right now.
Mhm.
And then he had one on
Hi,
the
Sandy.
likelihood that this one guy got the best Minecraft speed run record of all time. And he's like, let's look at it statistically. And he goes, no, you can't do it. But it's
I think I
fascinating.
saw that video that you're
Yeah,
talking
he's really
about.
good. He's Kiwi. So there's there are these videos that I am now obsessed with because part of me is like, I can't believe this is a thing. And I can't believe this is how they do it. So there's a very famous shoe store. There's more than one, but there's one famous shoe store in LA for sneakers like Jordans and stuff like this. And it's very high end stuff. It's called Cool Kicks. There's a guy whose name is Rami. He called himself Rami the Icon. He has got over 2 million YouTube subscribers. He's at a counter in the back of the store. He sets up a camera. People bring in sneakers. The fascinating part that I like the most is the compilations where he can tell them they're fake, they're knockoffs. That to me is fascinating because
That's gotta hurt.
So this is a 2 million subscriber channel.
Yeah,
To find
and
out
I
if your
finally
sneakers are
realized
knockoffs.
I finally
What am I doing
realized
wrong?
that these sneakers are done in a limited edition. They must be, because there's no fucking way there's this many people, thousands of people buying brand new shoes, leaving them in the box, taking them, never wearing them, taking them back to this guy and selling them for less than they bought them for. I'm like, what is this? It makes no
Shoe
sense.
reselling is a major reselling is a major business.
But they never used them. It's like they kept them in a box and now they're selling them for less. So anyway, sometimes they get a store credit. Sometimes they've worn them a couple of times and they'll get whatever they can for them. That's great, right? There are guys who they call plug. These are the guys that are bringing, there's bricks and heaters. Bricks are like shoes that are kind of like common. Heaters are ones that are like more rare. And a plug will bring in nothing but heaters. So you'll get this guy that just shows up with like 20 boxes of brand new rare shoes that nobody's ever worn. Where'd you get those from?
Yeah, what was the point of buying those? Well, I take it back.
Channel?
The probably is not a shoe head themselves, or at least they're probably not.
Where did you get them
wears
from?
them themselves. They thought it was a business.
Stealing.
So this is the whole channel. That's the whole channel.
Yeah, and so then he brings them in. He brings them in. He looks at them.
Oh my God.
And he's like a young kid. He stopped going to college to do this YouTube. He looks at him. He's very nice. He's a very engaging, good personality, very friendly kid. He's super cool. But he looks at the shoes and he goes, yeah, I'll give you 120. And they're like 150. He goes, okay. And I'm like, well, what haggling is this? This is amazing. He's like, I'll sell them for 175. And then you look behind him and it's just boxes and boxes and boxes of it's such a weird thing. To me, it's kind of like plush puppies. Remember those?
No.
Where the value was just deemed by the collectors. And as soon as the collectors decided they weren't valuable, there was no.
You mean Beanie Babies, right?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, Beanie Babies.
Yeah,
Don had lots of Beanie
But
Babies.
these aren't going out of style. And okay, so here's the craziest thing. He's looking at primarily Jordans. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Famous basketball player, right?
Also the originator of this phrase.
And he's looking at shoes and he goes, oh yeah, we just don't buy a lot of basketball shoes. And I'm like, so the majority of these Jordans aren't for basketball.
Oh my
God. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, what are they?
I can't deal with the all the consumerism. It's like so.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I appreciate a collector. Like, in terms of consumer culture, that's somewhat more in control.
So this is collecting.
Yeah, I mean,
I would argue that the sneaker business
but that's
is the same
different, Matt.
thing.
You're
It's just
collecting.
fast
You're not.
fashion for men It's the same
It's
shit
not
thing.
fast.
Is
That's the whole
it's
point, though.
well, they're always releasing these new limited editions like every quarter. All
Yeah,
these
that's
IC
capitalist
ads like that.
nonsense,
It's
for
the
sure.
same thing as like the makeup packages for
Yeah.
fucking like teenage girls, but
I
like
collect
it's just
Adidas,
like
but I
adult
wear
men
them.
think that this is cool or whatever. So it's just
I
have
collected jewelry and now I can't sell it.
I
I love
25
collecting
pairs of
things, but
Adidas
like
upstairs.
collecting things, like I mean, I don't know. To me, a collection does not involve buying something at retail for MSRP. That like I don't know. I just like
But
that's not how I view
but
collecting.
no, you collect those neat things you show us that you get. You
Yeah,
have
like
any,
I like old stuff,
right,
like
and your
stuff that's like
cartoons.
artistic and
Right,
valuable and stuff.
right.
But like
Well,
buying something from Walmart for my collection, I don't know about that. That's not really a
I
collection to me.
collect cats.
Yeah, I
Well,
collect
No
plastic
more.
bowls. It's all part of my collection.
All right.
Yeah, I
But you had
rummage through
you had
boxes
something,
for hours looking for comics. It's so fun.
but
Like
that's
that's part of the
your
fun.
thing, right? And because you're an artist, that's different than I think sitting on YouTube and making like gazillion dollars with a sneaker channel. I
And
don't
I mean,
know.
it's his job. It's not even his
It's
store. He
different.
just works there. But I have,
Oh my
I have
God.
like,
Oh,
I have,
Jesus Christ.
cracks
He
me
makes
up.
more money than his boss, without a doubt.
Yeah, it
yeah,
cracks
I'm
me up.
sure.
I'm
The
sure
But
gig,
like, I
it's
buy,
gig
cut.
economy.
I buy sneakers and
No.
wear them like I have shoes that I've worn twice, but like I don't have a lot of opportunity to wear shoes, but I just love these sort of a sneakerhead, but not in a way where I'm buying them for status. And I think that's what's going on here. Like these people are like, yeah, man, I got the ND concrete 12s with the green laces. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
I
Like
got the ones with the purple laces.
Hmm.
Whoa.
yeah.
Can't you
And
just
it's
change the
like
laces? Can't you shut the
Well,
fuck
it
up?
is
they
interesting
show them to
because
people who come over, I guess.
recently one of my followers, one of my friends online that I like a lot, I'm not going to say her name, sent me 2 boxes. They were filled with brand new, beautiful shoes, boots, and sneakers. I'm like, she bought all these things and they have tags on them, and some of them are really, really nice. But the size, I was like shocked. So I can't use all those shoes though. So I'm gonna have to probably give because I won't fit into them. Find an 8.5. Find somebody who's an 8.5.
Well, I think like there's
She sent
another
me
YouTube
40 pairs of shoes. 40
there's
pairs.
another
Oh my gosh.
Eight
Yeah.
I don't
and a
know if
half, you
it's
say?
Yeah.
there's
That's
like some
interesting. That's
online
very close to
magazine.
my foot size.
There you go.
There's boots.
Kismet.
I'll send you pictures.
Okay.
There's an
So-
online magazine or outlet
No,
or
Kim.
something where they do sneakers with celebrities, and like Will Ferrell goes into this place, and then Bill Burr was in there. When Bill Burr was in there, the guy that hosts the show is like really just over the top, and he's like, Bill, we figured that you love these kind of shoes and you'd want these. He's like, I don't need this shit. He's like, I have a pair of Jordans that Pete Davidson gave to me. They're covered in mud. Like, I don't give a fuck. And so at the end, he
Oh, that hurts.
donated. He bought I don't know, $1,200 worth of shoes and donated them. But like,
What was that? Like 5 or 6 shoes?
it wasn't a lot.
Damn.
But he kept saying this is all just bullshit capitalism. Jordans used to be a thing, and now somebody's like, ooh, put the Nike swoosh backwards, and now it's an extra $100. So there is some bullshit to it. Like they're not any more valuable. They're just
What is with this
limited.
Bill Burr like doing this like hardcore leftism thing? Like he was never like a huge leftist, and now he's like doing these like commercials talking about.
I don't think he is
whatever
a
it
leftist.
is. Whatever it is
he's
you're
a
talking about.
Who?
genuine believer is
Who?
the difference. And
Bill Burr.
Bill
Oh.
Burr, he's a famously crass, blunt comedian.
Right. I know who
And-
he is. I listen to him. I think he's just a
Okay,
person
well,
that
The only
stepped-
political thing I
stepped
heard him
back.
ever say
Answer his
before
question.
like 6 months ago was like he was like fucking both siding the trans debate. And then like 6 months ago, he like comes out of nowhere and he's like super epic all of a sudden. So I don't know.
Well, yeah,
People
it's been longer than that.
He became
spent
woke,
a couple of years,
Andrea.
I'm here
taking
for it.
more and more looks at politics. But the answer to your question is anytime you make an honest assessment of the United States of America, you walk away a leftist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
That's
mean,
the
I'm
end.
here for it. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it would just be so nice to see more people, but they're not. They're in the cult. They're so brainwashed, and it's so sad. Hmm.
Yeah, some journalist came up to him. Well, some guy with the microphone came up to him on a red carpet and was like, "What do you think about in the news?" And he goes, "I don't care. Don't ask me that. I'm not the guy you asked me." And they're like, "But you're a comedian. You should know this." He goes, "No, I don't. That's bullshit. This is your job. You used to have balls. You need to grow a pair of balls." And he's like telling the
Oh,
guy to his face, like, "Do your
oh,
fucking job."
oh boy.
I
But
saw a
I
Bill
don't
Burr
know if
bit
that's
on that
lefty.
specifically, and
I don't know
he's
if
not
that's
wrong.
Yeah.
lefty or if he's just right. You know
Vitamin
what I
water.
mean?
No,
Yeah.
that's sort of the point, though. Like,
Yeah.
the only people who are making an earnest attempt to do anything of value in the United States politically are leftists. And if you're not like in the extreme progressive left,
You mean
then it's just
JP,
a
isn't
matter of
it?
how much do you serve the oligarchy. If you serve it a little bit, but you still make noise like people are supposed to have rights technically, well, you're a Democrat. And if you're just straight up a servant, take a knee of billionaires, well, then you're on the far right, or anywhere on the right, really. So, like, I'm saying I've had this conversation before where people are like, "Oh, this comedian doesn't seem like they'd be on our team, really," but suddenly they're spitting facts, and it's just like, yeah, we live in what is essentially Russia circa 1990 right now. And
I
let's hope we get to 1991
I
in
hear
one
you.
piece, so this thing can collapse and we can build something better.
You know what, Jake? I
Nope,
just
wait.
looked up uh right wing or conservative comedians, and the list actually has Bill Burr on it.
I
That's
Isn't that
believe
funny.
it.
weird? Ryan Long, Patrice O'Neill, Tim Allen, Babylon B. Writers, Jeff
Not
Foxworthy,
Patrice
Rob
O'Neill.
Schneider, Jay Leno, Norm Macdonald, Konstantin Kissin, Nick DiPaolo, Chris Rock, Richard Pryor, Andrew Dice Clay, Bill Burr,
No.
and that's what this is saying.
Hard pass.
Where's that list from?
Oh, I
It's
got
not
it
a
off
good
A,
list.
Reddit.
a strongly
Off
conservative outlet
Reddit.
that wants funny
That's a
people
bad
to be-
list.
It's a
Yeah.
bad list. Okay, well, I just did a quickie. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think you can.
Dennis Miller,
I've listened to
Tim Allen.
Dennis
he
Miller,
is
yes.
very right wing. I've listened to Bill Burr's podcast for years, and I would never have at any point
No.
been able to go, he's this or that.
No.
Yeah, he's not really a politics guy
I
at
thought
all.
he was just a commentator. He's sort of like Georgie Carlin. You're the person that looks at everything and comments on
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
he's
things.
even. No,
Not
he didn't even
not
do that.
like him,
No.
but I don't know, steps back and makes his jokes on what's
He does things
he's
because he
proud
wants to
of
get a
himself.
rise out of his audience more than anything.
You think? You
Yeah.
think? Yeah.
He
I'll
has
have to go back
commented
and
that
I'll
he
have to go
feels-
listen
Reverse
to
audience capture. Like he's audience captured, but he wants to say the opposite of what his audience wants. So it's reverse audience capture.
So I think I'm gonna have to watch some more of his pieces.
Absolutely,
to
but I do want
understand
to
him
point
better.
out that he has, like, as to what Matt was saying, I saw him in an interview discussing perhaps that exact interaction.
Okay.
But he's not. I can't stress enough. He does not personally pursue political topics. They get thrust upon him, he has said, and he is increasingly frustrated by that because it's just the world we live in.
Ah.
That's life for us right now. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
gotta
started
talk
when
life.
people were upset. He was very outspoken on just regular, like, morning network news shows about Catholic priest,
Mm.
people being outraged at Colin Kaepernick, and he's like, "You never fought in the fucking war, buddy," you know, and like he was very outspoken about that.
Yes.
The best thing he ever did, that not the best thing, but one of the craziest things he ever did was he was doing like a festival show or something.
Mhm.
And there was a bunch of comedians. I think it was in Philadelphia.
Oh.
And the crowd was not cool. And it was like a big
I
crowd.
saw
And they were
this.
hammered, right? And they were
Oh boy.
giving
Dangerous
everyone
crowd.
shit. And so when he went out there,
Mm.
he just, and it went on for like, I think 30 minutes. He just railed on the crowd. He didn't do any of his routine. He just went at the crowd. It is one
And
of
they
the
loved him. He was the only one they loved that whole night. They were giving everybody else hell, and he was like, "You sons of come out here. First of all, you." And it's they like, yeah, they were
like talking about their mothers and stuff. He went crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Is that a link? Is it on YouTube, or you have to pay for it, or is it one of those?
It's on YouTube for free, for sure.
Hey, send me, put the link in the Discord. I'd like to watch that one. I haven't seen it. Yeah,
wait,
I think
hold
that
up.
sounds like
Sandy, you have the private chat though, right? Here
Oh
on
yeah, right
StreamYard.
here. Yes.
Yeah, I'll just drop it there.
I would like to shake things up a little bit.
Oh boy, yes, baby.
In this episode, well, this is not. This is a shaking things up and like kind of on the long.
Okay.
You know, like on the 2-year time span. You know, like you'll never see it coming.
Oh my God.
She left.
So rude. It is so.
She did it.
That's so rude. I can't believe she just leave.
She shook shit up.
That is
that was brilliantly done. My God.
Shook
The
shit
long
up.
con.
I'm tired too, but I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to pull my.
I gotta do a show in the morning.
My way. Yeah, you say this every time.
Oh, you found it, Jake.
And then I get off,
That's
and you and Andrea blab for another hour.
Whatever.
And Andrexit, yeah, Andrexit, Andrexit.
Anybody want to promote anything? You want to talk about anything before we wrap it up? It's 11:35 p.m. on the East Coast.
Just Jennifer Hines and me, my old partner on Friday night birthday show, and it'll be fun. Arctic update if you guys are interested in some science and fun. We will bring it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I'm
looking, normal. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just looking to rob the Fifth Third Bank off of Main Street in Dearborn Heights. We need a wheelman still, so if anybody has a car that they can take the license plate off for a little bit, call me, I guess.
Drive it like it's stolen.
Or steal one. Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah, or steal one. Get out.
Are you doing anything this Friday? We'll talk later.
Okay. He's on after me. I go on for an hour and
never
then
mind. All right, so we do need a wheelman.
Sandy Lovis is coming on the show from Left of the Box Sunday night or Friday night, night, Friday night, and then Hank Thompson, Winners and Losers, will be on Monday night. Jessica Burbank next Thursday will be on.
Busy.
So,
busy.
Yeah, I got a lot going on, and I'm inviting more people. I'll see who gets back to me. It's just sort of like spring and summer is weird. People are going outside and they're not doing anything. You know what I mean?
I've got a bunch of stuff though going on. I've got an interview with the people that are.
Look at this, Sandy. There's a message for you here. Every spring and summer, it gets really difficult. I
will. We're gonna.
It gets really difficult to book guests, and a lot of guests, like I had 3 who were like canceling. I had one guy who rescheduled so many times.
That's what we're gonna. That's some of the people to water pure.
I had a guy reschedule so many times that he no longer worked for the group that I was interviewing him about.
Oh
And luckily he had somebody come on. He got like a replacement to come on at the last minute, and they were great. And I was like, oh man, that was like, I don't even care now, but it was stressful because there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of like in flux. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to
plugging along 5 days a week. Okay, cool.
You're doing great. I missed a couple. This week has been weird with my working here and working outside. Then I'm like, oh shit. So I go back and listen to it as I'm doing my other things.
I appreciate it.
I don't like missing lives.
Yeah.
I enjoy the camaraderie of the chat,
Same.
And I do enjoy mine too, but I don't do as many lives as you do.
Well,
all right, everybody. But
Sandy, before you go,
he's leaving. You knew he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to say good night?
Yeah, we're gonna say goodnight. Good night, Kim. Good night, Looney. Good night, Bella. Thank you for moderating. It was nice to see everybody here. And it was kind of different night. We had fun. I mean, hey, I went down memory lane.
I had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
I don't
fun.
really check in to see if everyone else is having fun.
I have a million stories. Holy crap. I told you. I'm cats have 9 lives. I've lived 7. So
Oh,
got stories. Got the stories.
I'm a dog. I'm a canine.
Ruff,
I'm just riding out this one
ruff.
life where I'm kind of 7 years older than everything else.
Stop. And
Seriously.
okay, then add on to that for me. Birthday week, me and Jennifer. Yay. Okay.
Yay.
Wow. Yeah. Well, when you get to be my age and you make another birthday, it's a really good thing. And you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm still here. It's a good thing.
Sandy, this is so I was watching your video the other night and I didn't realize right away that it was pre-taped. I was like, wow, she's typing in the chat a lot.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, okay. So because I didn't want to interact.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
then
that was my interview with Nicole. I was on her show, Nicole Sandler, talking EPA.
but you're so cool. Like you're such a great host and a great broadcaster, and you're so good in those conversations and interviews and on either end. You just make it seem so cool. And so I just do not understand the whole when you get to be my age or like it's a bad thing because obviously like you're doing
But
very
it's
well. And like
fun
we
to
should
joke
all
about it. It's a shtick.
oh, okay. Okay.
It's just a thing, you know. We're all
I got
my
you.
girlfriends that are at a certain age, we're all making these things, these jokes about it because you wait, you know, you have to.
Okay,
Shit
yeah, no,
can
I'm here for it.
happen.
That's good.
Shit can
Okay, maybe I
happen.
should start doing that too.
Shit. Well, you're way younger. You're healthier, so
My
you're
knees do
doing
hurt,
fine.
and I'm not sure why. My
And
feet hurt.
that's
I
all
wake
that.
up in the morning and my feet hurt, and I'm like, oh god, I had to buy socks specifically for circulation. That's a thing.
We have to take care of ourselves the best we can. And at that, I am going to say goodnight.
Okay. Good night.
Chanel, I'm really glad you came, and it was great to see all of you. I love you. Matt, love you too.
Love you. Take care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
And then there was one. This is not a group show anymore, you guys. Okay, so I recently was reminded of a moment on this show, one of our most watched episodes. And I always do that kind of cheesy thing at the beginning where I say, this is our weekly unscripted panel show where it's free form and off the cuff, like you were sitting in a bar or a cafe or your living room just talking about shit. And it goes from one topic to the other. You never know what you're going to talk about. And we don't know what we're going to talk about, but there should be a purpose to this show. And we were talking about this recently, that not all of us, but some of us. And I am always thinking of one moment from the show that we did the day after the election in November. So what, the 10th, I think, November. And there was a moment in that show where I was like, damn it, that is what I want this show to be. That's what I want our friend, our group of friends to do on air. We're broadcasters, but when we come here, we're not really doing what we normally do. We're just being together for the sake of cross-pollinating our audiences, for giving everyone a chance to just hang out and just be on air and talk about things casually without it having to be like researched. There's not a lot of show. There's no show prep. There's no show prep. Sandy will occasionally try and prep something beforehand, and I go, nah, I don't think anyone cares. It's sort of like our mantra, but there has to be more to it than that. There just does. What are we, egomaniacs? We just come up here and say shit because we're that great, right? And so I want to play you just a snippet of that show from the day after the and I assume it's okay with my co-host because it's was recorded and we did it live and it's still out there for everyone to watch. But this is what I want the show to be. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, you guys. Always a pleasure. And thanks for being here.
Need to understand the value of what we're doing here then. And I think the value is to give people that feel the way we feel about this stuff a fun thing to do once a week. And it sounds silly.
I don't know
but if
about
you're
fun.
sitting there,
This was
I can't guarantee I can be fun. I can try.
If you're sitting there and you're looking at a minimum 4 more years of your life being in danger from these people, and probably a hell of a lot longer, and you're weighing that against, do I just want to do it tonight? But you're thinking, what do I have to look forward to in the near future? We can be one of those things. No pressure.
Right.
But I think we can be one of the reasons that somebody decides, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to wait another week.